Any tips on going from fight to flight? Good job, by the way. This is so difficult for me. I'm really glad that you recognize it. So with flight, fight, those are both sympathetic, but I'm really glad that you know it's flight and then fight as far as responses to danger. So on the polyvagal ladder, coming up the ladder from shutdown into flight fight, it's actually shutdown to fight and then flight. And if you're in more of an aggressive, stuck, angry state, just day in, day out, you deal with that and then go up into flight. So it's this, you'll feel it as aggression, anger, irritability, right? Those are the general feelings of fight that are stuck. Up the ladder into flight, which you'll experience as anxiety, avoidance, not really panic. That's a more of a freeze kind of thing. And then once you deal with that, then you can go up in your safety state. So how to deal with from fight to flight? What I have found helpful is when I work with clients is we have to actually feel it. And it's not, especially if you're going from shutdown into fight, that's really hard because from emptiness and numbness, all of a sudden to having energy, fight, aggressive energy is very difficult to do. It's possible, but it's a slower process. If you're stuck in fight, it's kind of like, well, you have to mindfully experience the fight state, right? You have to mindfully experience what's happening within you. And in therapy, somebody might be like leaning forward. They might be talking faster, kind of like I'm doing right now. They might have more muscle tension. They might be breathing in the shoulders. So it's just kind of like noticing what's happening right now. What is happening within you? And can we be with it and feel it enough to let it do what it needs to do? And of course, we have to have the safety state active before we do that. So if you can do that, then people can be more curious about what's happening within them. And then like just bringing that level of mindfulness to what's happening within you can help it to soften, but it also can help some shifts start to happen. So if you feel something stuck within you, you might feel some shifts happening, some softening happening. And I've had people say they feel like tension here and they feel it start to like spread out as they softens. They may feel this like constricted, tense kind of feeling. And then as they work with it, notice it, feel it, and just describe it, then it softens and kind of spreads out. So it's just one example. So going from fight to flight, you kind of have to, I think, feel the stuck defensive fight energy without judgment, without trying to make it go away, just feeling it as it is. And then you'll notice it as it shifts into probably more of anxious kind of flight. And it might sometimes it's brief, sometimes it takes longer. I can't tell, anyone in particular what that's going to look like, feel like, how long it's going to take. I have no idea. But likely what's going to happen is we'll go from fight up into flight, and there will be a sense of anxiousness, of rushed, of needing to get out of the situation or the place or whatever it is. Commonly with the students I work with, as they come out of fight, then up into flight, they want to leave school. Like they just want to leave. And so it's important to recognize, like, let's not, don't do that. Let's not leave school, but let's notice that feeling, that impulse to get away from something. Let's notice that anxiety that you have inside of you. And then it's like the same process. So as things shift from fight into flight, we notice the same impulse. It might be something like their leg starts tapping or shaking, There might be an impulse to run, to move, to do something. And so it's like we don't want to do that exactly unless you have a therapy practice where you have the space and capacity to do that. But we want to just notice the feeling of it, the sensation of that impulse to escape, and kind of like feel it on a muscular level, on a felt sense level, and then notice those shifts that start to happen. Now, if you do it once, that doesn't mean that it's never going to happen again, that you won't, drop down the ladder into those states. You kind of have to keep doing it over and over again, I think. I don't think it's a one-time thing. I haven't seen that. I haven't experienced that personally. I haven't seen that with my clients, that it's like they do this like discharge and that's it. They're good. Like it's this, you have to practice it, continue to do it. And each time it gets a bit easier. Each time accessing the safety state is easier and easier. At least ideally, that's kind of the way it works, or at least what I'm seeing. I guess ideally it would be a one-time thing, and then that would be it. I just haven't seen that really happen. By the way, this is a little bonus right here, and I'll probably use this in the podcast maybe. But why do therapists charge you for missed sessions? And the answer is because um, we wake up early. This happened today. I'm not upset at all, but well, I woke up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. I do weekend sessions. Got dressed. Got my favorite polka dot shirt on. Got a sweatshirt on. Got dressed. Drove out 20 minutes to the office. Got set up, and the person didn't show up. Easy, just a misunderstanding on their part, but that I spent time getting up early on a Saturday. Left my family on a Saturday, which I don't like doing, but I do work on Saturdays, and spent money on gas, like all this stuff. So why do we charge for missed sessions? This is why. It's not just, you're not just paying for the therapeutic interventions, you're also paying for our time. So yeah,